Hello and welcome. My name is Leah Kopke, and this is my podcast, Ambient 3D Animations, where we talk about 3D modeling and simulations. Today, we're going to be going over the Vorticity setting for Cinema 4D for working within Pyro. So let's go ahead and jump into Cinema 4D and get started. Here we are inside of Cinema 4D. I've actually set up a few simulations here as an example. I'll go ahead and press play and you can see what I mean. All of them are controlled by a different simulation scene. So they're all being controlled by different vorticity settings. And you can find that within your simulation scene object or within your project settings. And we've already covered the emitter tag, fuel tag, and pyro output, as well as the simulation scene object. So I will leave links to those videos in case if you want to know more about that, so that you have a good base of knowledge to understand all of this. But let's first of all take a look at these two simulations here. So this one on the left, it has within its pyro settings, if we scroll down, you'll see the vorticity strength is set at 0. So this is what it looks like when the vorticity strength is at 0. It looks very smooth. The vorticity option adds in that look of movement or turbulence into the scene. And this one on the right has a vorticity strength of 20, so this one's cranked all the way up. And you can see that right now their sources are both set to none. So this is just the default noise that comes with the vorticity. And we'll talk a little bit about the vorticity today, and then next time we'll talk about what this turbulence setting is down here. But this is our main focus for today. So you can see that we have a lot more ripples in here. It's moving a lot more. I can adjust this vorticity strength to adjust the strength of the noise. So I can take it down a little bit, and you'll see it begins to change how it appears. So that's how you can control your vorticity strength, and that's it on the default of none. Now I'm going to move over here to the right, and we have 3 more examples. I'm going to close up the first 2. I might actually just turn these off for right now so that this runs more quickly on my computer. So now we're just previewing these ones. And these ones are using different sources. So if I look here at this one on the left, its source is density. So it is using the movement of the density to determine how the turbulence looks. The density is determining the turbulence for this one. The one in the middle is using the temperature as the source. So that's controlling what the turbulence is looking for this one in the middle. And then the one on the right is using pressure as the source. So you can choose from this drop-down menu what your source is. And you can also adjust the strength. You'll notice that you can get away with higher values with the density source than you can with the temperature. So you can see here it doesn't look quite as realistic. If I increase the source strength by a lot for the temperature, you can also see that it stops looking quite right. And if I crank it up way too high, it kind of looks like a bunch of these little particles here. So it doesn't look quite right if you increase the temperature strength too much in here. And I just wanted to communicate that. Like if I crank this up to 95.5, it starts doing that. So it's actually better to work with lower values when it comes to temperature so that they don't look too crazy. So I'm going to put this at a source strength of, let's try 3. See what that looks like. And the vorticity strength is at 5. So lower values work better for the temperature. You can get away with higher ones for the density. The source strength is just controlling the strength of the setting you choose up here. So that is how that is working. And then we have our pressure on the right. There's one more option, and this applies to when you use fuel with your pyro simulations. So we have 2 spheres here. This one on the left I named Vorticity Burnt Fuel Off. So this one has fuel, but it isn't using that as a source, and the vorticity is turned off so that you can see what this would look like for a simulation with fuel that's not using the vorticity. This one is not using the vorticity. This one here on the right has burnt fuel for its source in here. And I also adjusted the source strength. So again, this just adjusts how much that source is affecting it. It's like a multiplier controlling the strength from that. So that's how the vorticity works. In the next episode, we'll go over the turbulence, and this just has more options and more keyframeable options here. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and you can also use that to control the turbulence of how your scene would look. So there you go. That covers the vorticity option for your pyro simulations inside of Cinema 4D. If you'd like to stay tuned for the next episode, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll be notified when it comes out. I really hope you found this helpful, and thank you so much for taking the time to work on some pyro simulations with me. Hope to see you here next time.